Have you ever wondered why the Rebel Alliance or some other faction didn't just leave the Star Wars galaxy in order to escape the Empire? Or perhaps why the Yuuzhan Vong invasion took so much of the galaxy by surprise? We're going to be answering those questions and looking at, more importantly, why it's so difficult to enter and leave the Star Wars galaxy on today's Star Wars Legends lore video. So, as some of you know, I've covered this topic in some depth before in previous videos, but those are always of a slightly esoteric nature, and I always really just mentioned this topic. Nonetheless, for some reason, it's a topic that I find really interesting, and one that I don't see covered too often on YouTube. The reason why the Star Wars galaxy seems to be cut off from the rest of the universe is due to some sort of barrier that seems to surround most of the galaxy. Now, just to be clear, my title is a little misleading. Obviously, the Yuuzhan Vong, who were from another galaxy, invaded the Star Wars galaxy. People have also left the Star Wars galaxy and visited other locations. On one occasion, Luke and Leia visited the intergalactic void, the space between galaxies. There's also 7 orbiting dwarf galaxies, the most notable ones which are the Rishi Maze and Fire Fist. Still, besides that, contact to the outside universe is limited. As I mentioned, there is this disturbance, there is this energy barrier that surrounds the galaxy. This is a complicated topic and is an idea which was only introduced fairly late in the Star Wars canon. The book The Outbound Flight dealt very heavily with leaving the galaxy and the search for life outside of the galaxy, but it wasn't really until Vector Prime, which started the Yuuzhan Vong invasion arc, that this hyperspace disturbance was really explored in depth. Adding to the complication is that the old comics, especially the Marvel comics, which traditionally dealt with the stranger aspects of the Star Wars universe, like extragalactic visitors, didn't really contemplate such a disturbance. Nonetheless, as I mentioned, Vector Prime introduced the idea, and it's since been retconned to fit in with the rest of Star Wars Expanded Universe lore. As an example, the Jedi Knights and Masters, which were part of the Outbound Flight project, were retconned to be there in order to help pierce the galactic barrier. The question though of what the barrier is, what it actually does, and what part of the galaxy and the universe that it actually limits is an important one. The new Essential Guide says that extragalactic travel had long been thought impossible due to the intersecting ripples formed in hyperspace by galactic masses. Sabaoth, who was one of the masters of the Outbound Flight, believed that the Jedi could use the Force to smooth this zone of turbulence. The actual nature of the turbulence has never been clear, but it seems to me like it probably has an effect on your ship going through hyperspace as well as real space, almost like some sort of energy field. It's not like you can exit hyperspace and just fly through it. Your ship will still be damaged in some aspect. However, along with the effect of the field, it's also unclear what part of the galaxy is actually barred in. The Camino system, for example, which Obi-Wan Kenobi visits in Episode 2, was not part of the Star Wars galaxy. And then of course we have the Nagai and the Toph, other extragalactic species. Seems like the barrier is far enough out that the orbiting satellite galaxies can still be reached. It's at time also been unclear whether the whole galaxy is covered by this anomaly. Usually when people speak about the anomaly, it's made in references to the unknown regions. However, the unknown regions don't surround the entire galaxy. Some of it is covered, for example, by wild space. However, just logically, if the barrier didn't cover the entire galaxy and people still wanted to explore, instead of going through the barrier, they would just go out through a different plane. So via that, we know that the field must cover the entire galaxy, but is still far enough out that the satellite galaxies which orbit the main galaxy can still be visited. The question is then, how did the Yuuzhan Vong invade? They don't appear to be from one of the satellite dwarf galaxies. They seem to have their own large galaxy from very far away. This is all covered in the Vector Prime book. The Vong found a gap in this energy field at the galactic north near the Belkadan system. They used this to enter the galaxy without ever having to cross the anomaly itself. It's unknown whether the Star Wars galaxy, after repelling the Vong invasion, actually used this gap to explore the rest of the universe. That topic isn't really covered after the Vong invasion, and really, after that, we don't have a whole lot else within the expanded universe timeline. The purpose and the reason for this disturbance is up for debate. As revealed on StarWars.com, the original prologue for the Essential Guide to Warfare, which was a Star Wars Expanded Universe reference book, included an interview with a scientist who suggested that the anomaly may have been created by the Celestials, an extraordinarily powerful ancient race. He says, when talking about the power of the Celestials and their creations, "I believe that they engineered the hyperspace barrier that surrounds our galaxy, either to protect themselves against invasion, or to prevent the return of beings that they had exiled from the galaxy, perhaps both." Personally, I'm not sure if I buy this explanation. We know that the Celestials did incredible things. They built entire star systems. They built, for example, Centerpoint Station, but this seems to be something on a completely different scale. The Star Wars galaxy has a diameter of over 100,000 light years. Create something that blocks people from entering and exiting the galaxy in 3 dimensions just seems absolutely ludicrous. The Celestials were powerful, but I don't think they were that powerful. Unfortunately, with Star Wars Legends no longer being continued in any sort of meaningful way, these are questions and these are ideas that will never be fully answered and explored. Still, it's almost more fun that way, and with the examination and the importance of the unknown regions in the current canon, this will be something that we get to explore again for the first time.
For decades, these computers have been plotting a journey. Outside the known galaxy is an unexplored infinity, Palpatine explained. One closed off by a labyrinth of solar storms, rogue magnetospheres, black holes, gravity wells, and things far stranger. Any who tried to conquer that maze did not survive. The ships were obliterated or returned to the galaxy devoid of travelers. Communications from those explorers were incomprehensible, either shot through with such static as to make the content useless, or filled with enough inane babble to serve as a perfectly clear sign that the explorer had gone utterly mad out there in isolation.
Anyways, let me know what you thought of this video down in the comments. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe, and of course, give this video a like. It really helps me out. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys. As always, this has been EckhartsLadder. May the Force be with you.